Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Dubai Stars. Tonight, I don't have only a Dubai star, I have a global star. It's Zeesha. Zeesha is the founder of One Capital, founder of One Investment, and lately the founder of CPIC Global. Thank you so much for being on this episode, G.
Thank you very much for having me, Anthony.
It's such a pleasure, man, because you have such an inspirational story, and this is all what this podcast is about. So all of this success, all of these businesses, it wasn't given, it wasn't founded. You have to get to really a rough ride to reach where you are today. And that's why we're here tonight to know your story, to know the background, where does like Z come from. We need all of these details. So
amazing. I'm ready for it. Let's do it. Let's have a deep dive in.
Let's go backward, and tell us where does Z come from. So you were born in Pakistan, right?
No, I was born in the UK, but I moved to Pakistan when I was 8 years old. And actually, to be honest, that's probably the start of the turbulence of my life, because when I moved to Pakistan, I was a very good student here in the UK at a young age. I was always actually the best student in my class. But when I went to Pakistan, English isn't the first language. Urdu is the main language. I could not speak a word of Urdu. So what happened is over a year or two, I basically just couldn't catch up with their education system. The subjects were different. There was Urdu, Islamic studies, Pakistan studies, and all these different things. And I just couldn't adjust to it all. So basically, by the time I was like 11, 12 years old, I became a major rebel. Because everybody wants to be good at something, everybody wants to be known for something, right? And before I was the best at education. And when I went there and that got unsettled, so I took let's be the funniest guy, let's be the naughtiest guy, let's be the biggest.
You became the foreigner and you had it to fit in.
Yeah, exactly. So I was the biggest trouble causer. That was me.
How was it like that?
4 schools.
Wow. Were you bullied?
No, I was a bit of a bully myself.
Okay.
Actually, no, to be honest, you know what? That's funny you say that. And it made me think. Initially, when I got there, people did try to bully me a little bit. And I think that was probably, you've made me think of something that I didn't even think of. That's probably one reason why I went down that route of being really overly loud and naughty and misbehaved, because that aura of confidence then pushes people away, right?
So it was a blessing.
Yeah,
I remember your character.
Yeah. In the beginning, I remember a couple of fights, 2 or 3 fights at school, and that was only because people used to pick on me because I couldn't speak Urdu properly, or they thought that, you think you're really, you think you're like some foreigner, you think you're English or something. So yeah, I had a couple of run-ins like that.
So that's where the boxing skills came from, from the schools, from those fights. All right. So you've been brought up all the time in Pakistan, or you moved back to UK? How did it go?
Then when I got to about the age of 16, I was so misbehaved. I got kicked out of 4 schools, as I mentioned, and I was just a nightmare. I was a terror. I was a parent's worst nightmare. And so what my parents did is they sent me back to the UK, because they felt that, in a society like Pakistan, where, you can get away with doing certain things, like the rules are a bit gritty, you can have more leniency. They thought this guy needs to go to the UK, where it's a rigid society where you certain things you just can't do them. So they sent me over here, and I lived here for about a year. I lived in my auntie's house, and they gave me very little money and things like that. And they thought, he's going to go there and sober up and get clean and good. But I went here, I embraced this life fully, I was 16, 17. And because we're from the east of the world, we have beards early, right? So I was going to nightclubs and this and that. And I got a part-time job at a restaurant as a waiter. I was making money, spending money, and I had a great time. And when my parents speak to me, they were hoping that they'd speak to me and I'd be saying, oh, guys, it's really sad, you know, and
I miss Pakistan. I want to go back.
Yeah. And this guy's like, woo, have a great time.
The best thing you ever done to me, yeah? Yeah. So when you finished school, what did you get yourself into?
So after school, I went to university. And to be honest, I only went to university because that is what my parents had told me and everyone around me had told me is what you have to do. But I never went to university with any aim or goal. I didn't go, for example, I wasn't studying a degree in medicine to become a doctor or studying law to become a lawyer or even studying finance to become a banker. I was just at university because that's what I was told I was supposed to do, right?
So which major you picked?
Literally, so in the summer after everything was done, like all the exams were finished, A-levels, etc., I was sat there saying, shit, man, I've got to go to university now. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. And so I just asked someone and they said, you know, economics is a good thing to do. Economics is very good. So I was like, okay, boom, I'll do economics.
It's a very, very nice word to hear, you know, economics.
Yeah, economics, it sounds really good. So I went for economics. And then I stayed at university for a year. And
that lasted long.
Sorry?
That lasted long, I mean.
Yeah. And I went to, when university started, I think I went to one lecture, right? And then the whole year, I did not go to another lecture again.
You're in the cafeteria, you know, and just meeting.
Yeah, just chilling, man. No, I started some businesses. So I started promoting club nights.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'd go and book like venues around the city because everyone wants to go out, right? I'd go and book venues around the city, and like every Thursday I'd have a club night and I would promote the club night and I would charge the entrance fee. So the club or the bar, they would obviously make their money from the drinks and whatever. And I was the guy at the door charging like £3 entry. So we would
used to do the same. So I noticed that. We used to call it PR management, you know. Just take 10% from the bill, you know. Whatever the bill comes, 10% is mine.
Okay, we wouldn't get the 10%. We would just get the entrance fee. So we'd set the price £3 or whatever. We'd get 200 people coming, right? So we'd make like £600. I had a partner. We'd make like £150 each. And yeah, man, it was
happy days.
Happy days. Back then, a night out. The only thing you were bothered about is a night out, and a night out at university cost £20. Yeah. Right.
So you were 150. You were bowling. You know,
you're bowling. You're the big boss. So a funny story. So what happened once is I was leaving the student union, which is like the cafeteria and bar for students, in the afternoon. And as I'm walking out on the first day of university, the first day ever, I went to a lecture, that one lecture I went to, and I met this one guy. And I didn't see this guy again all year, right? But when I went on that final day, when I left the student union, it was towards the end of the year, I see the same guy. And I said, oh, hey, bro, how you doing, man? Good to see you. He's like, are you coming? I was like, huh? Where? He's like, we've got an exam right now. I was like, are you sure? Me as well? He's like, yeah, you as well. It's a final exam for God knows which like course out of the semester. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, yeah, I'll come. And that's the only exam that I passed because it's the only exam that I did. I did no coursework, no work, nothing. Just that one exam I did because of that guy and I passed it. Other than that, nothing I did there. I just chilled for a year.
That's weird. How did you pass it? I mean, wow, that's an accomplishment. Since you haven't attended all year, you know, just go do it. Must be like an easy course. Yeah, I'm like, wow. You're gifted. So, Z, when did you get yourself into, you know, like in this stage where you're having this life, it all looks fun, you know, and eventually it will become boring and you will like, you know what, man, I need to do something with my life. And when did you reach this stage?
No, straight out of university. So after a year of university, I left and I started working for Damak.
Damak Properties.
Damak Properties, Dubai, the king of real estate in Dubai. They have offices all over the UK they had. And I got a job. I was 20 years old. I got a job in their Birmingham office as a property consultant. And that's where. So immediately I was like, I was in university in one city and I moved to a different city, got a job with Damak over there. I started working straight away. There was no lag period. I was on the ball. Because I knew, look, it wasn't that I was a guy who's like, oh, I just want to live my life chilling, right? I was always a guy who was like, I'm going to do something major. I'm going to do something big.
You felt like you're destined for it, but you cannot know what it is. Yeah.
I feel like I'm destined to do major, big things. So it was just but for me, it was like, I don't have to go to university to do big things. I don't have to graduate to do big things, right? So I got straight into it. And then, so what happened is that I spent about 6 months in Damak's Dubai, Birmingham office, did a few deals, was making a few £1,000s in commission plus basic salary. And I'm talking to people out in Dubai, and they're doing like 100,000 dirhams a month, 150,000, 200,000 dirhams a month in the same property consultant role, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm doing like 10,000 dirhams commission on a good month. And I'm like, wow, that's good. These guys are doing 200,000 in a good month. I'm like, I'm in the wrong place. I'm in the right market, but in the wrong place.
I'm only getting the crumbs out of it. They're having the big pie and I'm getting the crumbs.
What would happen is you're sat in Birmingham trying to sell a property in Dubai. The guy's like, you're talking to a buyer. He's like, yes, I'm going to Dubai next week and I will finalize my decision. Keep in touch with me on the phone. Man, he goes to Dubai. Some other guy closed him. And you're sat there in Birmingham trying to call him, hi, are you in Dubai yet? Where are you?
Like it's done already, buddy. But tell me before, like when you joined the real estate development, like Damak is like, we call it the school of hustle. They train you like beasts. Like you get to know how to, to handle every objection, how to always say the proper pitching, everything. So when you came in, how was your first week by picking up the phone, calling someone, like, because you didn't have experience, like you were very good of handling people in different areas, which is clubbing. Everyone is happy clubbing, but not like everyone is looking to get this phone call from someone telling them, hey, I have an opportunity for you. Would you consider investing overseas?
There's a few like qualities that I had early on in my career, which really helped me progress. Okay. The number one quality is that I was always willing to be the hardest worker in the room, right? When everyone wants to go home at 6 o'clock, I will sit there till 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
When everyone's sitting and chatting and talking, I will still be making my phone calls and working, right? Because common sense just tells me that if I can just work more than everyone else, no matter if somebody's even more talented than me, I will go further than them, right? So I would always just work the hardest, right? So I always had that talent. And the other thing was I had a natural knack for sales. Just absolutely natural, just a thing for sales. Like I just understand people. I just understand how to talk to people, how to connect with people, how to build credibility for myself and my organization, which is very important in sales, is making the other person not just like you, but respect you.
100%.
Right? Because there's a lot of people you see in sales and they're on the phone and the client is their best friend, right? But in 6 months, in 1 year, they've closed nothing with that client. That's useless. You're Mr. Nice Guy who's not getting no business, right? You need to be a nice guy who's also a respected guy, right? That I'm a busy person, right? I'm an expert in this area, whether it's property, whether it's whatever it is. So yes, I'll talk to you about friendly things. We'll build a rapport and relationship. But at the end of the day, the basis of this relationship is business. Everything we talk about should be linked to business. Me talking to you and having a long conversation of 25 minutes about your football team, right? In the early part of a relationship is not building any credibility. The sales guy's thinking, oh yeah, I'm making great friends with him. I'm talking about football and his grandchildren. Yeah, he thinks you're a time waste. He thinks you've got lots of time and you've not got much to do. Yeah, that's what he's thinking of you right now. He's not looking at you as a serious player in the game, right? You want to talk to him and have a friendly conversation. Talk to him about his investments. Talk to him about his property decisions. Talk to him about his aspirations in life. You know, talk to him about these things which link into your business. Then you're moving him along in the sales funnel in the process and getting him to where you want to be. So sitting on the phone, talking to somebody about half an hour about their granddaughter and how cute and how she started to walk and his favorite football team is not going to get you nowhere. You want to close a deal, talk business, make sure the other person knows you're serious and your time is precious.
Absolutely. So you were like, it's about time to move to Dubai. How did you take the decision? Like, I mean, the decision, okay, you got it, but.
And that was the best thing I ever did. So literally.
Financially, were you okay?
Sorry?
Were you okay financially? Like Dubai is a massive city, man.
No, I was not okay financially. I came to Dubai and I didn't have any money at all. I crashed at my friend's house for the first 2-3 weeks.
Okay.
Right?
You were sleeping on the couch?
No, he had a nice house. He had a family house. Okay. And he had a family house and he had a guest bedroom, right? Mm-hmm. So he let me stay. Then I crashed in his guest bedroom while I found a job and got everything put together. But it was the best thing that I did, you know? And when I got there, like all of a sudden within like 2 months, I went from making 10,000 dirhams a month to making 100,000 dirhams a month, right? But
exactly what you visualized in your mind. Like if these guys can do it, I can even do it better than them.
I can do it better than them, exactly. Yeah. And I knew I had the skills about being in the right place. And the funny thing is that there was one guy who was my friend who used to work in sales also. He was 2-3 years older than me, right? And he was working in sales for 5 years. He was a sales manager at a telesales company. I don't know, they were selling phones or something, right? And when I was leaving to Dubai, I decided on like a Tuesday that, look, I'm moving to Dubai. The opportunity is there. I told this guy, I was like, look, I'm moving to Dubai. Let's go together, right? Property market out there is booming. I've only got a few months experience. You've got years of experience. This is what kind of money is being made. Let's go and do it together. He said to me, yeah, for sure, bro. Let's do it. Let's go. That was Tuesday. Saturday, I had packed my bags. I had moved, right? This guy, I spoke to him on Thursday. I said, look, my tickets are booked. I'm leaving on Saturday. Are you coming or not? He's like, 100%, bro. You go on Saturday, right? I'm going to come on Monday, Tuesday next week. To this day, it's been 12 years, I think. He's still in the same city, in the same small town where I left him. So the big difference in life, honestly, comes by taking risks.
Yeah, like jumping on the opportunity, taking the leap of faith. You know, it's not everyone can do it. People are so attached to their comfort zone. Like, that's my work, that's my family, that's my friends, that's why I am chill. Happy days. They don't feel like life is way bigger than this circle or this box they are in.
Life has got a beautiful way of working itself out for the people who strive.
Yeah.
You know, people who work hard and put themselves in risky positions and put themselves out there. Nature, the world, Mother Nature, God, however you want to phrase it, has a way of looking after those people. They get looked after. The risk takers, they get looked after. And I could sit there, for example, and sit and say, okay, I've got a job here. I've got a place to live. I'm making some commission. I've got a stable salary. Should I leave all of this and move to Dubai? Because I've got nothing behind me, no savings or anything. It's a big risk, right? Or should I take the leap of faith? Most people don't take the leap of faith. That's the key 100%. Difference between people who are successful and not successful. The people who are successful, they didn't know anything more than the people who are not successful. The only difference was that they gained more experiences. They took more risks. And because of taking the risk, they gained more experiences. And the more experiences they gained, that made them bigger and better and more intelligent.
I'm sure even like you've noticed during all of the phases you went through life, you meet people that they used to do amazing. They used to work like animals. They made the money and they got stuck in the comfort zone where they were like lay down,
Yeah.
and this is super poisonous because once you're comfortable and you got lazy, not much people can come back from it. So it's either that you have nothing and you're happy in your comfort zone, or you start making money. Like once you're gonna make it, either you elevate for the next level and you start climbing walls and mountains, or you're gonna stick where you are.
Yeah, but look, at the same time though, Anthony, the thing is that some people, like, they've got certain aims and goals in life. Some people might say, look, my aim and goal in life is I want to have 15 properties, right, worth $10 million, right, bringing me income every year of $150,000, for argument's sake, probably $15 million worth of property, 10% yield, perfect, $150,000, and I'm happy in life, right? And they call it a day there. There's some people who are like, no, I want to keep going. But the point is that, look, man, it's not easy. It's stressful. Every single day where you're in the business world, where you're fighting, where you're trying to do something bigger and bigger and bigger, you lose your hair, man.
Of course.
It's not easy.
Your hair starts turning white, you start talking to yourself, when you're driving, you start making scenarios in your head, you smile, you gain weight, you lose weight, like, of course.
Everything. You put on weight, you start ignoring your health, you lose weight. Just, yesterday my wife said to me, Zeeshan, can you come home early because I haven't seen you in 9 days. I didn't even realize.
Right? You don't. I know.
Because 9 days I haven't seen you. I was like, what do you mean you haven't seen me? She's like, okay, so all of last week, every night you had dinner. I did. Every night I had a dinner. And this isn't a glorious, you think about it and you look at it and you think, oh, look, fancy restaurant. They're in Nobu, they're in Novikov, they're at Sushi Samba, glamorous dinner. Nah, man, it's obligations. You've had a long day at work. All you want to do is go home and put your pajamas on, watch some TV and go to sleep, or read a book, go to sleep. But no, you've got obligations. People are there. There's expectations. You need to go there. You need to put your game on. Game face on, talk business, talk this, talk that. It's all draining. It's energy, man. And anyways, then you're going to go through all of last week. It was dinners. Then weekend, Saturday, Sunday, both days I had work. On Sunday, I had to drive 6 hours somewhere and come back. And then yesterday, what day is it today? Look at this, bro. It's
Wednesday.
So then Monday, I had a late night at the office again. Tuesday, yesterday, she was like, listen, just come home. And it made me realize, oh, shit, this is what's been going on for the last 10 days. And I told her, I can't. I'm going to be home by 11, 12 because I've got some shit.
So now your wife is feeling like she's in the long-distance relationship.
Yeah.
She can hear you over the phone.
I guess, look, my point of saying this, though, is that if people think that it's going to come without sacrifice, that's not true. You've got to, in anything in life, you get what you put in.
Yeah.
When I was 20 years old at university, everything I have now is what I dreamed of. Oh, I'll be flying first class. I'm going to be candid and real with you guys, yeah? I'm flying first class, traveling all over the world whenever I want to travel. I want to have a Rolls Royce. I want to have a Lamborghini. I want to have a Bentley. I want to be living in the most beautiful area in central London, in the most beautiful property, in a penthouse with this, with that. And, I want to be married, and this is my office will look like this, and my kids will go to this school. All those ideas, right? Alhamdulillah, I have everything, right? But there's a big difference in what I thought it would be like and what it's actually like. There's a big difference because the sacrifice that I have to put in every single day to have those things means I can't really enjoy them to the extent that I thought.
Not only to have it, to maintain it.
Yeah.
It requires maintaining it is harder than making it. Making it, first of all, you feel like, yeah, okay. Once you make it, you will like, okay, I've never want to go back to that life again. Now I need to maintain it. So act smart. Don't be stupid. You spend all of your money before, do proper investment, keep on hustling. Like
Yeah.
for me, I'll tell you honestly, do you know that I don't dare to take any vacations more than 10 days? I don't
Really?
dare to do it. I'm always afraid that once I'm gonna leave more than 10 days, the mindset I'm gonna go out from the game and I'm gonna be having difficulty to get back into it. So I always take like 10 days. Even on my vacations, I'm always on the phone, replying to these WhatsApps, sending those emails, entertaining inquiries. And she gave me the look. She was like, we're on vacation. Like, babe, you love this style? If you love this style, that's the fuck. That's what I want to do. That's the shit I need to do to maintain this stuff.
To maintain this life.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's but the point is that when you're younger and you imagine having all these things and you actually have them, that it's two completely different worlds. Because you've got to put in the effort to achieve those things, and it just changes. It changes the dynamic. I guess I think is, now that I think about it, is that really it will be my children who enjoy my hard work.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to put in the hard work for the results. They'll have all of it there, and they'll be the ones enjoying it. So I guess
when you achieved all of these goals, like everything that you dreamt of, when you achieved it, did you stop and look and you were like, man, I've been dreaming too small. There is way more stuff I need to do. Did this idea occur to you? It's like, oh, I dreamt of this life. Now I made it. Now what's next?
Nah, I've not even got to where I want to get to yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I've not reached that point yet. So, when I reach that point, then let's see what happens from there. But at the moment, I haven't reached that point where I'm like, I've got everything that I want.
You got me interested.
Sorry?
You got me interested now. You have $3 multi-million company. You have all of the cars, all of the luxury, the homes, the investment. You have a wife, you have a kids. Thank God you're in a very good health. I've seen like 6 months back, you used to be chubby. Now you lost the weight, you're training, taking care of yourself. So what's the ultimate goal?
Man, the ultimate goal is to do is legacy, Now, I've covered my bases. I've got enough money for myself, my lifestyle, my children, my family, etc. Now it's about doing monumental shit that people look at and say, wow, this guy did that. You know what I mean? Changing stuff. Like, who inspires me? This is on my desk every single day. Steve Jobs. He changed the world. You know what I'm saying? He changed the world. He improved our lives. That's impact. Yeah. That's what interests me now.
So that's what we want to be remembered. That Z did something, invented something that changed everything.
Change something, just something that makes life better. No, even in real estate, you can do it. Even in real estate, you can do it. I do look at other ventures outside of real estate, but even in real estate, there's ways that you can do amazing things. Right? Even amazing projects across the world. Even now, people say, wow, have you ever seen that project? Have you ever seen that project? A great example is the one in Dubai. What is the name of it? Al Barari?
Yeah.
For example, everyone talks about it. It's a game changer. You know what I mean? So even in real estate, there's ways you can do it. But I want to do legacy things. Legacy, that's what interests me.
Let's talk now about the first breakthrough. You came to Dubai, you start doing the work, you're making 100,000 dirhams a month, 150,000 dirhams a month, happy days. You can afford whatever you want. And let's say you didn't have much, so of course you want to go out nuts and spending and like feeling it. How was this period?
Listen, for me, in my entire life before that, going out and spending 150 dirhams on a dinner was a lot of money. That was an expensive restaurant. Yeah, I'm being serious, bro. It was an expensive restaurant. I didn't know there were restaurants more expensive than that. I didn't know that you could spend more than 150 to 200 dirhams at most on a meal, right?
Sorry, for all of the listeners, this is $40 and $50. Whoever don't understand the dirham.
Yeah. So I'm going in dirhams. Okay, yeah. It's like 35, 40 pounds or like $50, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I got to Dubai and I'm making like 100,000 dirhams a month, or like, let's say $30,000 a month. All of a sudden I found out there's restaurants where you and your friends can have dinner for 10,000 dirhams in a night. Yeah, so you can spend $3,000 on dinner, I find out. I didn't even know these places existed before. I was like, what? What is this magic? What is this sorcery? It's called Zuma.
Now it has sister companies.
Yeah, so but now Dubai is full. Back in those days, it was like Zuma, and I think that was it. But now there's so many restaurants in Dubai, it's crazy. But, so then I started, making friends who were spending like this. A lot of them were much richer than me. They came from wealthy families and everything, and then we were like, right, we're going out and we've got big groups with us, and, the money, basically, if I was making 100,000, I was spending 110.
Yeah.
But I don't regret it. I had a great and amazing time. I had a fantastic time. It was beautiful. It was amazing. Right?
And you learned a lot. You had the experience here in Dubai. What's lovely. Yeah, you can meet even people that you don't dream about meeting them. You just meet them in Dubai. They come to you and they want your service, and you will like, oh wow!
It opens your mind up. It opens your mind up so much. For a kid like me who was, going to university thinking that 200 dirham dinner was very expensive, to all of a sudden being there, the people that I was meeting, what you realize is that the people who are making millions and millions or hundreds of millions or billions of dollars and pounds and dirhams, they've got a different mindset, So you're around that mindset, and it's in a mindset of abundance. When you go down the hierarchy and you look at the people who are struggling in life, they look at everything as a problem.
Yeah.
Right? Everything's expensive or a problem or unachievable. They look at the negative in any situation. You come to these people and their minds are open. Everything is possible.
There is a solution.
Ways to make things work. Yes, exactly. Yeah. If they've got $1 million in their pocket and they want to make an investment of 50 million, they're trying to piece it together of how they can make it happen, right? So that abundance mindset, that's what I learned over there more than anything else. That mindset of it doesn't matter what cards you are dealt or what you have in your pocket. What matters is what you want to do and how you're going to go about doing it. That's what's most important.
Please carry on.
Let's fast forward a little bit. So then what happened? The Dubai property market crashed. Yeah.
08, 09.
I'm there going around Dubai thinking, wow, I'm the man. No one my parents telling me life's hard, making money's hard, life is difficult. Everyone making all this fuss about this. Man, this shit is easy. I'm blessed. I'm just amazing. Look at how much money I'm making. I'm doing deals like this. I'm doing deals like that. I'm just like, wow. And all of a sudden, the Dubai property market crashed. And, with it, my whole life came crashing down as well. So you're like, wow, okay, what do you do now? Hey, no one told us that somebody's going to stop the music at the party.
Yeah.
The party's still going. The DJ just turned the music off. Everyone stood there like, hey.
Yeah, right. Everyone go home.
Everyone go home. The bouncers start pushing everyone out.
Yeah.
So then what happened is that I ended up moving to Spain. I met some guys and I moved out to Spain to do some business with them in Spain. That was okay. Didn't work out as good as we wanted it to work out. And ultimately, I ended up back in my parents' house in Pakistan. Living house at like
and
24.
and hearing I told you so and all of this stuff, and you didn't save money, and you did. Oh wow!
Not just, bro. It wasn't just you didn't save money. Ended there at 24 years old. I told you to finish university.
That's what happens when you don't listen to your mama.
He's like, no, it was mainly my dad, right? My mom was like, my mom's supportive. She doesn't, you know how mothers are, man. They believe in their children. They want to support their children. They don't want to break them, and they don't want to, they don't want to put too much pressure on them, right?
They left it to your father, yeah?
Yeah, my dad, oh my God. See, I told you, you wasted all that money at university, right? That I gave your fees at university, you wasted all that money. He's remembering shit. I brought you a brand new laptop. He's like, why did I buy you a laptop? Why did I buy you a brand new laptop when you weren't even studying? He's like, where's that laptop now? Where's the laptop? I don't know. Maybe I sold it at some point, So anyway, so at the time anyways, I was actually working on, while I was in Dubai, at some point I'd met Floyd Mayweather, right? The boxer. And he'd been out with us for like 4 or 5 nights, made good friends with him. And me and one of my friends, we made good friends with him. And then we called him and said, look, I had the idea. I was like, look, let's get Floyd out to the Middle East for a boxing event. So while I was sat there with no money and nothing to do, sat in Pakistan, had this bright idea. And so we called Floyd, and he was like, yeah, I'm up for it. And put us in touch with his manager. At the time, it was his manager called Al Heyman, who's now like one of the biggest guys in boxing. And me and Al spoke a lot. We put together this entire deal. It was all up for happening. Traveled out to Dubai, went to a sheikh, got in Abu Dhabi, got the funding for the event as well. But at the last minute, it fell through because what I didn't do on day one. Yes, I decided that Floyd Mayweather was going to come to fight in the UAE, but I didn't discuss with him who he's going to fight, which is a very big piece of the puzzle. And I'm now going out to people and pitching this opportunity and saying it's a money-making opportunity. The revenue in boxing comes from pay-per-view, people paying to watch it, right? And so you need to have a good opponent on the other side to make it a big pay-per-view event. And this was like 2009. So Floyd Mayweather wasn't the Floyd Mayweather of today. He was a 2009 version where you actually had to explain to people who he was. Today you don't have to, everyone does it, right? So he was trying to fight a really mediocre opponent, which would be an exhibition fight, no pay-per-view or nothing. It would just be a fight in the Middle East where Floyd would make $25 million guaranteed purse. But generally, all the revenue would just be ticket sales, which is not going to be that much, and it's a loss-making event. So ultimately, at the last hurdle, that all fell apart. So then I went back to Karachi after coming to Dubai to get the funding, and my dad had been listening to this story the whole time for like 4 months. And he's like, what is this bullshit story? You're fucking taking $100 a week from me for pocket money, right? Like $12 a day, $15 a day pocket money from me. And you're telling me about a fight that you're going to get $50 million funding for, and this big star and that big star. He's like, you're living in dream world this whole time. So when I went back to him and said it's not worked out, literally the next day he came to me and he gave me a one-way ticket to London, £500 in cash, and said, forget that you've got a family, forget that you got a home. You're not welcome in this house until you're standing on your own 2 feet.
No, that's hard.
It was harsh, man. At that time, it wasn't nice, man. It wasn't nice. Because all your life, you always think that, if everything, when you're younger, if everything falls apart, if everything goes wrong, I've still got my parents behind me, right? That's where you think you're going to fall to in a worst case scenario. And when they turn you away and say, look, forget that we're here, you're not welcome here anymore, it really puts you in a weird position.
That's a transformation from a kid to becoming a man.
Yeah, yeah.
But the process of doing it, that's what hell looks like, I'm sure, you know. So you were disappointed, you were sad, you were lost, you were like, okay, now what? What should I do with my
Angry.
life?
I had no idea, like, you know, where what the route was. I still deep down inside me, I knew I was gonna do big shit, right? But at that point, that was really far away, it felt like. I didn't know where that deep down part, I didn't know where it was because I was so lost in like, where do I go from here to survive, right?
And all what you have under your name is 500 pounds, you know?
500 pounds. 500, no, listen, that 500 pounds is not like 500 pounds was not 500, it was 50 pounds because as soon as I got to London, I found a place from Karachi, I found a place to rent in London and it was 450 pounds a month, right? It was somebody's house. Behind the house had a garage. The garage they converted to a studio apartment, right? And that was 450 pounds a month. Forget the fact that I had to give him 450. I'm thinking he actually wants 1 month deposit plus 1 month rent. He wants 900 pounds. I'm like, I've got to turn up there and convince this guy to let me in by only giving him 1 month's rent, right? So I got there, really nice guy, Bangladeshi guy, really nice guy. I gave him the 450. He's like, don't worry about it. Let me move in. And I had 50 pounds left. And that's it. That was me done. So to take it from there, I got there on a Saturday or a Sunday, and I think Sunday I went and printed out my CVs. Monday morning I went out, I got 50 or 100 copies of my CV and I went out, and the first place I went to, I got a job, right?
Amazing.
Sales job. It was no salary, commission only. And from there, I'll cut a long story short, I built my way up. I ended up about a year and a half later starting my own company with a partner. The partner funded it. We started the company, grew it from there. Within another year from there, I bought the partner out and it was just me. Grew the team to about 20 people.
Which activity?
Property sales.
Oh, real estate.
Yes,
okay.
We were selling property in Spain and Prague.
Okay.
At that time, it was still after the financial crisis, so the banks had a lot of real estate they owned. We were working with the banks, with the real estate they owned, to sell it on to investors over here at big discounts with really attractive financing.
Just to get them liquidity.
Yeah, exactly. But for them, they had these massive like developments of 600-700 apartments in one block. And it's not even feasible for them to rent it out because they don't have property management divisions or anything. So they're literally sat with these dead, stagnant assets on their books, which are deteriorating. So they just wanted to get them off their books. So anyways, that got to a stage where we were probably doing a turnover of 6-7 million pounds a year, right?
Let me stop you right here.
Yeah.
So when did you pick up the phone and call your dad and told him, listen, I told you one day you're going to be proud of me and I just made it?
No, I've never done that. I've never done that.
Really?
I've not got to that stage yet.
Really? Like, I mean, when you had, like, you started doing the business, you have your home, you got like a stable life, and you didn't tell him that?
No. I mean, he always knew what I'm doing and heard about what I'm doing. But I never said that to him, you know.
Didn't he tell you as of now, like, you know, like, I'm very proud of you, you know, and he didn't show you this affection yet, honestly speaking?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I also feel it. Listen, I'm Lebanese. We have the Asian mindset, you know. I've been brought up there. I know the mentality,
Yeah. He has it. It's also, you know, we because I was such a rebellious child, right? And he tried to be a very strict father. So we've got a complicated relationship. You know, those things, like, they stay there, you know. I was really, really, really bad. And he wasn't really very tactful in the way he was dealing with me either, right? So he was like, let's meet force with force. I was like a young, hot-blooded force, right? Instead of saying, right, how do I deal with this guy? He's like, let's go head-on collision with this guy. You get what I mean? So anyways, but point being that then, so what happened is that I've got to this stage, I bought out the partner, I've got the business up to turning over millions of pounds, got 15, 20 staff, and then I got an opportunity to go onto a TV show, which was The Apprentice, yeah. So I went on this TV show, and while you're on the TV show, you're not allowed to have any interaction with the outside world. So you've got no phone, no internet, no nothing. And so before I left for the TV show, I was the youngest person in my own company. I was 25 or 26 at the time. And I was the youngest person in my company. And I told the other guys in the team, my sales director, head of operations, and the head of business development. Head of business development goes and finds the projects. Sales director, obviously he's a sales director. And head of operation manages all the back end, the mortgage applications and all this that you have to do, right? I sat them down and explained to them, look, I've just got onto this TV show. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be gone for about 6 to 8 weeks, and you're going to have no contact with me whatsoever. Everything's nice and steady. Just keep it going, right? Anyways, I went onto the show, and when I came back off the show, which is like, 4 or 5 weeks later, I've come to the office on the next day, and there's like 2 junior guys sat there, like, who are the bottom of the pile in the sales team, and nobody else is there. And so I'm sat there for about half an hour. I called some of the senior guys. They didn't answer their phone. I'm like, what's going on here? So then I spoke to a couple of the banks and developers we worked with in Spain. And the first one I spoke to, he was like, oh, so you're back now? And I was like, yeah, I'm back. He's like, well, nice to hear from you and all this. And he was being a bit off. But I was like, okay, I wasn't really friendly with him. So I just ended that call and said bye to him and tried to question him, but he didn't tell me anything. And I put the phone down. Then there was one bank guy who I was very friendly with. I called him and I was like, hey, what's happening? How's things going? He's like, Zeeshan, really, really disappointed in you. I can't believe you did this. I was like, what? What are you talking about? He's like, listen, I was like, something's really weird. I just called one other guy before and he was saying, wow, welcome back. Thanks for turning up, and all this kind of stuff, like being cheeky. And now you're telling me this. What is going on? He's like, Z, you left everyone and disappeared. I was like, what? He's like, well, your team came, right? The 3 senior people, yeah? They came about 5 weeks ago. They came and visited us and said that you've disappeared. They've got no idea where you are, right? You're not contactable on the phone. They can't reach you. You basically just ditched everyone and left. And all the clients are theirs, right? And all the business is theirs, and they still want to put it through, but they don't know what to do because you've disappeared, as in I've disappeared. And I was
wow.
I was like, shit, man. That's so fucked up. So anyways, over the course of that day, I found out more and more. And basically, we had backed up revenues in all of our existing sales of, let's say, about best part of £1 million, right? And yeah, you've got the cost associated and etc. But still, we would net like 600-700K out of that. And they'd basically taken all of that business played the game while I was away, right? Where these people have tried to call me and my phone's off, and they're like, see, we told you he's disappeared. He's gone. He's left us all and made up stories about me and all this kind of stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. And I sat there that day and I was like, look at this. Like, I had no money, ended up in Pakistan. Dad fucking kicked me out. Right, said, don't come back here, came here, no money, built this up the whole way, went onto a TV show, and now I'm not.
Everything is gone.
Zero. No, but now I'm not even at zero, right? Now I actually owe people. I have debts because, when you're running a business, you have debts that you have to pay. And I'm like, now I'm like minus 200,000-300,000. I was like, why the fuck did I end up here? And that day I sat down and I was like, I've got 3 choices from here, right? One choice is I just admit that I'm not good enough for this, right? This is too much. I'm not good enough for it. I've got some very good skills. I can go and get a great job, get a great salary and make good money and just fucking quit this shit, right? Don't go in the business world. Just go and settle and get a great job. Because I had great skills, you know, and I could have got a great job and earned great money. I thought I could do that. The second option is I can pursue these motherfuckers. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
I can pursue these motherfuckers.
That's the least to say, you know. Yeah.
I said I can pursue these guys and try and get my 600-700K that I'm owed, right? There was some complications to that. There's Spain, there's Prague, there's the UK, different territories, all sorts. And then the third option was put it all behind you, ignore them. Whatever's happened has happened. Focus on the positive, focus on moving forward and do it again and do it bigger and do it better than before. And I really did think that option 2 and option 3 were exclusive of each other. I said, either I move forward and do it all again and forget about what they did to me and ignore it, or I say, okay, no, I'm not going to ignore it and I'm going to pursue them and get my money back. But both things can't go hand in hand, because if you're trying to move forward, but your mind's stuck in the past and getting angry and trying to get your money and fighting court cases,
you're not going anywhere.
You're not going anywhere. You've got to do one or the other. And this is what within the same one day, I thought about all of this. And I said, by tomorrow morning, I'm going to decide. The next morning, I decided that I'm going to do it all over again and do it bigger and do it better. And so I closed our office down. I started paying back the debts. I started my office from my living room. And I was sat there all the way back to the beginning again, just sat there on my own, doing the marketing, making phone calls, selling the properties. I was selling properties, making money and paying people back, right? Because I was about to, in 6 months, come on the biggest TV show in the country, right? If I had debts outstanding and shit in the UK, all this is public knowledge. It would be in the newspapers.
Of course.
You know, this guy claiming to be a great businessman owes this guy £10,000, owes this guy £5,000, owes this company £15,000. So I was literally there calling, making money, paying people back. And that was One Investments. That was the beginning of One Investments.
Oh, you know, I had the question I wanted to ask you, like, what was your biggest disappointment? But I'm sure you answered it. Or did you have any incident where you were like more disappointed? Like, did you have something that got you more disappointed in life?
No, I think that has to have been the toughest hour, because it's like you know, when you have nothing and at that point, you know, you something goes wrong. It's like, yeah, I don't have anything. Who cares? But when you've gone and you built it all the way up and you feel like I'm there now, and then it comes collapsing down.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
You go to minus. So it's like, oh shit, man, how am I going to do it again? But when I did decide that I'm going to do it again and I'm going to put all the negativity behind me, the same thing that I achieved in 5 years, I achieved more than that in a year. Because it's like riding a bike. Once you know how to do it, I was doing it better. I was doing it bigger. I was not making a lot of mistakes that I made in the past.
You had the drive, you had the motivation, you had the deadline, you had 6 months to finish all of this. So it all came in perfectly. Let's talk about something before we get to how did you start and build the One Investment. There is a stage in your life, you know, where you start like outgrowing people, you know, and start losing friends or so-called friends or what you used to be friends because you were on the same level. For me personally, when it started happening to me, I was always wondering, man, like why? I've been nice to everyone. I helped everyone. Like I cannot remember anyone came to me. I turned them down, whether it was for an advice or for anything. You know what I mean? And why? And then later on, it took me like few years to understand, like the problem is not me. And anyone who was in my spot, he would have been gotten the same hate. It's not personal, it's about the position. So tell me about this experience when it started happening to you. How did you overcome it?
Man, many people who you do, I have been also, by the way, I've been very lucky with having been blessed with a lot of people around me who are not like that, right? But I did encounter quite a few people like that where, they would be someone very close to you and you would try to help them, right? Those close to you, you try and help them and they would throw it back in your face, right? Yeah. After a period of time and try and say that, they helped you in some way or you cheated them in some way, Yeah. For example, some people, friends, who wanted jobs and I gave them a job, and after 6 months, they went around and said, oh, I made him so much money and he didn't give us enough money, So you get people like that, man. It's just part of the journey, I think. You just got to accept it, that it's the difficult stage of business is that after you take off and before you make it. That's the difficult stage. Because at that point, you're still accessible to everyone where you're not actually high enough where people are like, okay, fair enough, he's made it. You're in that middle stage where people are like, he's trying it, he's a faker. Will he make it? Will he not? So they want to throw shit.
He got lucky. He found the bag of money, and that's where he made all of his fortune.
Once you do all the things that say, I've made it, then everyone's like, he's the best guy in the world. Wow, what a genius. But in the middle,
let me tell you how I met him. Let me tell you the story.
So basically, when you've got the Rolls Royce, you're cool. But when you're driving the BMW, you got problems. All your friends, all your family members, everyone around you, they want to throw mud at you at that stage. It's human nature because I spoke about this the other day as well on a podcast. And it was like, and a lot of people, and I put a video out about this, and a lot of people commented and said it's wrong. And I said that when you're trying to make moves in life that are like big moves, the people around you, especially in your early stages, they will try and stop you, right? Of course. If you come from a group of friends or family who are not into business, who are all like, they work certain types of jobs, and you go in there and say, look, I'm going to go and move to a different country and start a business in that different country, they'll all try and stop you. There's few reasons for it. One reason is that because they don't understand the risk-taking element of that, right? But the other side to it also is because at the end of the day, they don't want you to exceed them. Now, that doesn't mean they don't want you to exceed them in the way that they don't want to see you successful. What it means is that they don't want you to leave them. In their own selfish way, you're friends with them. They don't want that they're here and you go here and they lose you in their lives. So they try and keep you with them. And a lot of people commented on that and said, no, it's not true. It's not true. Friends support you and all this. I'm like, so very lucky to find those friends.
Like, listen, Z, when I'm doing the seminars, I always say the first thing, you need to unlearn what you got to know from your parents, because they got to know the same stuff from their own parents. This is a generation that lived the World War I, World War II, For them, getting a steady job, 9 to 6, it means like you're living okay. Just get yourself to meet any girl and just marry her and start a family. And once you will have the kid, they will like, that's the life. But no, in our generation, if you're not really like, you have the steady life and you get yourself to a marriage and you're living 9 to 6, in a few years, you're going to start getting the credit cards and start going down, and the relationship will start getting affected, and the woman will make her man feel like he's not man enough, and look our neighbors and look at this. And that's what, like, creating this chaos, you know what I mean? So that's, I would say, unlearn what you learn from your parents. If you have a feeling that you need to do something, just do it. You don't have to be in university. It's an absolute waste of time, unless if you're gonna be a doctor, like something that you really have to study for,
100%.
then do it. But just like to come in and say, I'm gonna be an architect, yeah, that's amazing. But there's a software now that does all of the stuff in 5 minutes, without you being learning this stuff for
Yeah.
6-7 years.
Saying, I'm just going to go to university and do a degree in business. You're better off working for 3 years. Instead of doing a degree in business, go and work for 3 years in a business. That's the best thing to do.
And lose the money. That's not a problem. Lose the money because that will be the best teacher in your life.
Yeah, exactly. And you're not going to go and pay all the fees, etc. You might make money instead in the next 3 years of actually doing it practically. So 100%. And again, it's a very sensitive topic where people say, oh, parents, my parents say this, and my parents said do this, my parents said do that. Look, if you want to be a doctor and your parents are doctors, then listen to what they're saying. They can tell you the route to become a doctor. But if you want to be a billionaire and your parents are not billionaires, then I'm sorry, they can't tell you what you need to do to get there.
Get yourself a billionaire mentor to teach you how to do it.
Exactly. You're asking the wrong person. They didn't go there. That's not what they chose in life. I'm not even saying it, but they didn't go down that route.
I want to say something, but I don't want to sound harsh. What I'm feeling in our generation, parents want their children to achieve their own dreams, what the parent has as dreams, and they couldn't do it, so they want to see it in their children. That's the ugly truth. Yeah. So, let's go back to starting the one investment.
Just final on the parents thing. The other thing is parents will always choose the lowest risk option for their children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They don't want their children to be in situations or positions where they have to struggle and be in difficult situations. So they will tell you, get the best education, go and work for a big blue chip company and have a simple life, because that's low risk, right? They inherently, they look at their children and they're like, okay, I just don't want them to be in problems, right? So if you want to be an entrepreneur, your parents probably aren't the best people to get advice from unless they are entrepreneurs themselves.
Of course. So let's go back to one investment. You founded the company and you started selling in Dubai and you made crazy numbers in Dubai. Why was Dubai? It was because you missed those days, or because it was the pickup of the market back in Dubai? Like why Dubai?
Why did we start selling Dubai? Because it was actually a conversation with a friend of mine. And his family, they own Damak. So I was discussing with him about the UK market and, what the opportunities are in the UK market. And they were always sort of marketing to the GCC clientele coming to the UK in the summer. And I was like, look, there's a different market over here, right? Which are the British people over here, traditionally mainly Pakistani and Indians and Bangladeshis who live over here, who've been here for 2-3 generations. Dubai for them is a second home. And you've got other people as well, but nobody's targeting them. So I noticed that gap in the market. I discussed with him and he's like, okay, great. You know what? Make it happen. Let's do something. So we started targeting them people and doing crazy numbers. That's it.
All right. This has been extremely wonderful. I don't want to take more of your time. I just want to finish it by asking you one question. What did you learn from Corona, from all of the situations?
Man, I learned so much. So many things, honestly, I learned from COVID so much. Look after your health. Yeah. Look after your well-being, right? Don't take life so seriously. Don't stress so much. Enjoy it. Chill out. Man, COVID for me, I mean, it's sad. So many people lost their lives. For me, it's been a blessing, man. I got to just realign my life. I was like so focused on one track of business. My health was out of place. My well-being was out of place. I just got the time to everything just slowed down. I just got time. It paused, man. And
yeah, life paused, and it was like, that's the awakening. Here you go, wake up.
And I just the time to align everything.
This has been amazing. Thank you so much for dropping all of this knowledge.